Hey, folks, welcome back to More Than a Refresh, the T3D sessions. This is another Postgres Love Letter. Hey, Brian, what do you got for us? Why do we love Postgres today?
I'm going to use kind of like the first thing that got me interested into Postgres, and it's free. And like actually, it's truly free.
So you're a
Um,
cheap bastard.
Pretty
At
much.
the well, considering you're working on moving full time into a schoolie,
Yeah.
that and for those that think that's cheap, that's not cheap. Um, but okay, it's free. Obviously it's open source, it's free. But
hmm
what I mean, outside of the clear, financial advantage there, I mean, why?
Well, I mean, a big part of it is the financial advantage, but also it's like the dichotomy of it being free, open source, but also high quality. I think one of my favorite stories, at a previous company, was we migrated a client from Oracle to Postgres. And they kind of went kicking and screaming. I think the higher ups begrudgingly said, fine, let's do it because we're running out of money. Like, we just can't
Right.
afford this anymore. And then I think in the end, they were saving like $1 million a month just by moving to Postgres. And once we got them on there, everything was actually faster. Their product was better. And they were just like, wow, why didn't we do this sooner? And the whole
Ye-
time was because they were afraid, oh, open source, that means anyone can hack it. It's like, no.
Well, I certainly remember the old school arguments. I mean, back in the day when I was doing internet service provider work, I had launched several of my own, and one of my partners, when I was talking to him about Linux, he didn't know what Linux was. And I was talking to him, and I said, "Well, it's free, and we can just use it. We don't need to buy anything." And the reason it matters is because we were setting up a mail server and all
Right.
those types of things. Um, and he's like, "Well, then how do you make money?" Well, I mean, it's like the whole command prompt model, right? Our entire
Right.
model is based off of free software, and we're making money every day. Not a lot. I mean, we don't make Oracle money. Otherwise, I think we'd all be a little happier. But or at least not as cheap as we are, cost conscious. But you're right. I mean, we've had, you know, since 97, we've had lots of clients of varying degrees. And as Postgres improved, our business has improved, our quality of clients has improved. But even today, you will run into people like, how can we trust Postgres? In fact, a lot of people, there's a lot, people think that, we don't use open source. Well, there's nobody in the world that doesn't use open source at this point, right? It's something like 87% of phones are Android. That's Linux. It's based on open source, right?
Mhm.
Um, but more importantly, you get into this environment where, open source, free software, and specifically in this case, Postgres. If you're wondering whether or not you can move to Postgres, keep in mind that Amazon turned off Oracle on a live event in favor of Postgres. You can find it right on the internet. You can search Amazon turn off Oracle, and there's a video from on YouTube that shows Amazon pushing the button to turn off Oracle forever for Amazon's infrastructure. Now, obviously, you can still use Oracle in their cloud and stuff,
Mhm.
but I mean, that's where we're at with Postgres. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, not as long as me, but still a long time.
Right.
And I mean, I mean, you used to work for one of my friends slash competitors, right? So, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Like you said, is that they were saving $1 million a month. And think about what the spend was for an Amazon, and
Right.
they turned it off and they run Postgres. In fact, a lot of the stuff that people don't realize, like Redshift is Postgres, DocumentDB is Postgres, Aurora is Postgres, RDS, Postgres. I mean, they've got other RDSs too, but still, you know,
Yeah, and obviously Amazon scale is insane amount of money.
Mhm.
But also I think it can help out even smaller scale stuff, even any startup or even small like nonprofit. I actually have a
Oh,
friend who he runs the IT section of a small nonprofit. Probably they work with $1 million a year just total, so it's very small. and everything they run is Windows. So I'm trying to
Oh,
convince him, like,
oh, it's terrible.
get off of Windows, make your websites not on ASP or whatever Microsoft servers and stuff. I'm like, you can transition it over and save a ton of money and give yourself a
And
raise
reliability as well,
and
right?
reliability.
I mean, if we're talking Linux plus Postgres, it's hard to beat that level of reliability.
Yeah.
Um, the reality is if it's a greenfield application, there's zero reason not to run Postgres. Now, there are reasons to run other databases, right? There are people that prefer the way JSON works and they want a document database, right?
Yeah.
Well, Postgres has that ability, right? JSON, JSONB, not to mention an enormous amount of interconnected tissue with functions to make sure it can work with the relational model and all those types of things. But really, I mean, in the next 5 years, I don't think that you're going to see a lot of quote unquote PostgreSQL.org. But the one thing that PostgreSQL.org did is build the standard for the protocol and dialect of databases,
Mhm.
right? So it doesn't matter if you're on an RDS, Aurora, AlloyDB, Supabase, PlanetScale, on and on and on and on and on. They're all running Postgres in terms of their dialect and their protocol, right?
Yep.
And that's a great success for an open source database. So I agree with you. I mean, if you got a friend in nonprofit, it there's just no reason. I can't imagine anybody willing to run Windows now, even in your old fashioned, enterprise environments, right? I mean, you can do MFA and Active Directory authentication and all those types of things with a Linux or even Mac for that. I mean, if you're afraid of the freedom of Linux,
Yeah. Well, and
So
I guess there is an argument for, say, workstations. Some people just can't learn something new. And I disagree, but at the same time, I can understand it. Infrastructure, why are you spending so much money on SQL Server, Microsoft, or like the Windows Server and all the full stack, basically, all the way
right.
for your entire web app? And it's like, you're just spending money to have problems.
Well, it's funny. Some people can't learn something new. I get the argument,
Same. I
but
don't agree with it, but I get it.
I don't either. But I understand the argument. But here's the thing: it's a bullshit argument, and this is why. Install KDE Neon and just go.
Yeah.
When we're talking about workstations, right? My mother can run KDE Neon. She's 70 years old. She's not a computer person in any way, shape, or form. Okay. It's ridiculous that it's just a bogus argument. It's something that people have been fed. Now, 15 years ago, sure,
Yeah.
Linux was reserved for people like you and me. Okay.
15 years ago, I had to fix my workstation once a month because something broke.
Yeah.
I've been on this computer for 2.5 years and I've never had to go and fix anything.
The only time I ever have to fix Linux right now is because I broke it. I did
True.
something, right? Like the other day, I tried to force install an Incus image. Don't do that, right? I broke it. I had to fix it.
Right.
But no, and you're right with the infrastructure. I mean, there's just look. We're on Office 365. Okay, Edge runs on Linux. Download Edge, run Microsoft 365 on Linux.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just nowadays it just doesn't make sense. We're running old school Microsoft Office. Okay, run it in Docker.
Yeah.
Right?
And on the infrastructure side too, I'm seeing less and less applications that are purely coded directly for one database system. I mean, as much as we
Yep.
hate our ORMs and stuff, a lot of people use them.
Oh,
And a
yeah.
lot of them are database agnostic. So
and
migrating your system from one to another isn't a complete rewrite as it used to be, at least for the most part.
And you're spot on. That is the nice thing about ORMs is they do give you an easier way to migrate, right? If you are 100% ORM, you lose out on a lot. You lose out on a lot of the really fun stuff, good stuff, interesting stuff that databases can do. But on the other hand, if you're running Microsoft SQL with an ORM, you just point it at Postgres and it will largely just work.
Right.
All right, folks. Well, this has been another Postgres Love Letters. Thank you so much for joining us, Brian. Have a great day.
You too.